hello everybody, and welcome to the IV. The vibes out here are going crazy. We're going in. So today's a really cool video. Something I have not done before, but we are doing Maddie ASMR's rap album review. Now, I really love Maddie's ASMR, so I don't want to sit here and be biased because I love his ASMR. We are critiquing, we are reviewing, we're going over the whole album. This is not let's be kind and loving because we love the ASMR. He's a great guy, great person. We're talking about music here, and you guys could be like, well, who are you to critique someone else's music? I'm actually an artist myself, and one day I will put those songs out there for my own channel. But until that day comes, you guys who follow me already know I make music, so I'm actually a rapper myself. Been doing it for 6 years. I love it. I have 6 albums out. If you guys happen to find me, you know who I am. But so this is not supposed to be the year by Maddie. So we have 12 songs on this album, and you guys might be familiar with the flow or the style of rap that he's going for. Now for me, it gave me more of a Dr. Dre or The Game vibe, and I love those artists, so it was really cool to kind of go back in that time, back in the early 2000s, and listen to this all over again. Now, I'm not that old, I'm only 20 years old, so I wasn't back there when this stuff was first dropping. But I went back myself through Spotify and all that and listened to it myself once I started getting into music, and I honestly love the style. So coming in at the first song on the album that we'll call an intro here is The World Stops Spinning. Now, I gave this one an 8 overall because the build up and the song was just too strong for the beat. I feel like the beat should have been on par with the build up, but it was not. The build up was just, you give me trumpets, you give me glory, and you meet me with a shield. We're bashing together, and it's not working properly. Now, his bars on here were awesome, really cool double entendres. I absolutely love this style of rapping. But so the first song on the album's an 8 for me. Not coming in number 2 on the album is I'm Hip. Now this is the one song out of the whole album that it's actually the second song on the album that I put as a 9.5, but this could easily be a 10 because this is a banger. The bars, what he's talking about, there's no hook needed. I absolutely love this song. Now this song I could see blowing up if it got more traction or more artists messed with him. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a little bit more outside of the box. You're getting a kind of newer boom bap style of beat with the old flow, and it just mixes perfectly well together. Maddie did a great job on this one, for real. So number 3 on the album is Fibu, or Fibu, however you want to say it. I like the rapping in this song, but again, the intro is kind of taken away from the song itself. Whenever he's going Fibu, in the beginning, you're kind of feeling awkward. You know what I'm saying? You're not feeling like everything's getting put together properly in the beginning. I love that he tried building up to the point. Now, I'm not for sure what Fibu means. I could just be one of those guys that has no idea. I should have done more research on it, but I took my notes and I recorded a video, so that's where we're at on that. But again, the intro, we're going back to the intro. That intro is actually the same intro and beat package that is on NF's Careful with Corday. Now that song slaps, and knowing that this almost the same beat, it felt like, and the same sample was in that absolute banger, and you come to Maddie's song. Now I don't know if his producer had the clearance and that's how they got it to work or what was going on here, but it kind of just in my own head, if you've never heard that song before, I'm sure this doesn't knock it down at all for you, but Fibu is a 7 because because of those reasons. I just can't get an F song out of my head when I first hear the yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But number 4 is Matter of Time. Now this is a 4. I thought it was really clever, the rhyme schemes, but the sample is really cool, but it's just too simple. It is just too simple. If you guys see me look away, on either side my notes are up, so that's what I'm looking at. But it's just too simple. He had some complex rhyme schemes in there every now and then, but other than that, it just was not it was not it, in my opinion. You're going for the newer style boom bap, early 2000s flow of rapping, and the beat was cool, but the rapping on it just didn't meet standard for the album, for what we had listened to before, because you kind of lost me at that one there. But at number 5 we have Cheat Code. At a 6, I thought the Shannon Sharp ad-lib was really cool, or he yelled skip, but the feature takes away from the song, and and I don't know if almost that artist is like a hook maker. Like, I classify myself, if I were to be on a song, I'm making the hook. I'm good at making verses, but where my strength is at is in hooks. I can make a song catchy with not even writing lyrics, and honestly I should make a video about how I do that, the thought process, all of that. But Maddie himself is clearly a rhymer. He is not a hook maker. He's using samples and he's using build-ups almost as a hook. You don't really hear any hooks throughout these songs, and that's the old style, that's the old ways. There were no hooks in songs before. You know, Post Malone, I believe, actually made hooks in the beginning of songs very popular. Like, sure, there were some artists who were doing it, but once White Iverson came out, ever since then Post Malone puts his hooks in the beginning, other than his new album Austin. Or I guess that was last year's album, because he has a country album out now. But anyway, hooks are very popular in the beginning of songs to catch the listener's attention, keep them in there for more than a minute. Attention spans have gone down, so listening to this album with 0 hooks, and it was a little difficult because I am a Gen Zer, I guess we could say. So I'm sure my dad will love this album. He really loved Eminem, The Game, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent. Those are his guys. Snoop Dogg. You know, obviously I grew up in the era where Playboi Carti and Travis Scott were popular, but you get the idea there. But at number 6 is Sit in Silence. Now, I absolutely love this song. I'm going to be biased on it. This is a 9.5, and the reason I'm going to be biased on it is because I listened to this today. The album dropped, and it's very raw. It's very personal. It's my personal favorite. He's speaking about either his father or a friend passing, or either both. I couldn't really tell in this song, but luckily for us, he basically finishes the story in 3 different songs, so it's actually a really neat way of completing an album. In this way, you have other things going on in the album where, like, hey, I'm back, I'm here, I've been gone away from rapping for 8 years, I'm back, I'm coming in with spitting flames, I'm coming in with this, I'm coming in with that, and this is what we're doing, this is how I'm doing it. And he shows you here why he was in the game before. This is very raw. I absolutely love it. I resonate with it. I've had family members die in the past, and we'll kind of get back into Sit in Silence a little bit later. You'll see. Coming at 7, we have No App Freestyle. I gave this a 6.5, simply because it is very basic rhyme schemes. It's almost like if you rhyme fan, man, can, stand, land at the end of every single sentence. Now, obviously, he doesn't use those rhyme schemes, but he uses other words, but he's basically just rhyming simply. But to give, the reason why it's not lower is because it's a freestyle. And the way I look at freestyles is. It's not everybody's a freestyle. Clearly, Maddie was spitting bars when he was writing, so you can't really take away from the big songs, the good songs on this album, or previous songs that he has made, and sit there and resonate with a freestyle and say, oh, he can't spit. There are rappers out there, and I'm gonna use Smoke Perp, unfortunately, because it's the only one I can think of. Actually, even Little Baby, those guys cannot freestyle for the life of them, but they can go and make hit after hit after hit after hit, writing in the studio. They aren't Meek Mill, they're not Eminem, they're not Lil Dicky. You know what I'm saying? They can't freestyle like those guys. And they're not like Juice WRLD. It's very unfortunate that some people can't do that. And whenever they can spit flames writing, which would be really cool if they could do both. But some people have a thing, and I don't think freestyles are Maddie's thing. But it's really cool to see him put that on an album. Number 8, we have Presence of a King, and I gotta say, did not like it. Personally, you have an EDM rap song on a boom bap style, new futuristic boom bap style album, and it just does not fit the album. I don't understand why it's here. I saw that it dropped in 2023, so it was its own single, and I hate to be like this, but it should have stayed that way. This album was so good, and then we get to track 8, Presence of a King, and you lose me because you're going from boom bap, you're going from old style rapping, and you're saying, okay, let's switch it up. Now we're rapping on an EDM style rap beat, and it just does not fit. You know what I'm saying? It just does not fit. But I have it at a 4. So going in at number 9, You Mad, Huh? I think the rhymes in this one, we bring them back a little bit. They're a little bit better than Presence of a King. They're a little bit better than the freestyle. I think it's good, but again, it does not fit. And I guess my best example of this is whenever he starts off. Actually, like, the beginning of it was pretty cool, but then you come in and he says, I'm on they ass. I'm on they ass. He prolongs it, and it does that right there. It does not fit the beat, and then he goes back and fixes his wording to rhyme with they ass, and after that it fits. But why does this part right here not fit if you're gonna go back and fix the other stuff and make sure those fit? That's what I don't understand. Now, it could just be a producer thing. He might not even had any choice over how that went in to the song, because producers nowadays kind of feel the need to do whatever they think is right, and in an artist's mind, it's not always the best thing. So You Mad has a 6 for me because of that. Coming in at 10, we have Dear Me. Now we're bringing back from Sit in Silence. This finishes the stories. This basically says, alright, it was my father who died. I have a lot of past issues. I don't know how to deal with them. I'm watching my mom struggle. It kind of fits. You're putting back the story. The puzzle pieces are now putting back together. And he talks about not being able to have kids. And, just the full circle story. Basically about to finish up on the next song. It's actually really cool that he has a trilogy for like a story of his life since he's been away from rapping. I thought that was really cool, and I honestly really enjoyed that. So that's an 8 for me. Now coming in at 11, which finishes the trilogy, is All on Me. And now he's talking about how he dealt with his depression, the suicidal thoughts. I thought actually the artist he had on here was actually really cool. The hook was really good. I really did like this song. This song was 7.5 for me, 7.5, because it finishes the trilogy, the story. How did it start? What's the struggle that happened? How is my family dealing with the struggle? What else am I going through? And then you got the final step of All on Me, and he's speaking about that depression that came from all this. He wants to kill himself because of these issues and how he dealt with those issues. And I thought that was really cool. And then number 12, we'll call it the outro, is Dearly Beloved. Now, this is a kind of again where you're losing me on that album. I think 8 and 9, Presence of a King and You Mad, Huh, and Dearly Beloved could have been singles away from this. This could have been a 9-track album and still would have been completely gas. But Dearly Beloved, Presence of a King and You Mad, I just kind of don't fit here. I'm not gonna say Dearly Beloved doesn't necessarily fit the album itself because it's another futuristic, and by futuristic I mean modern boom bap style beat, which fits the album. What he's talking about kind of fits the album. Hey, I'm back. This is what I'm going through. This is what happened. But he doesn't necessarily say who he's writing this love-hate letter to. It could be about his ex, his future woman, because he's talking about his girl now, and his ex before, and he's talking about all this stuff about them, and it's not really making sense on exactly which one of them he's talking about. But I did think that whenever he said the Napoleon line, where he's like, now we have to Bonaparte, Napoleon Bonaparte, I thought that was really cool. And looking at it as an album perspective, I can kind of see that Maddie didn't necessarily want an intro on this album. He didn't want an outro on this album. This was purely a rap album, just coming in, spitting. So whenever I say intro and outro, I'm kind of more or less talking about the artists who want the intro and outro. It's very common nowadays to do that. I do that to kind of build up what the album's going to be about. The outro's leaving the album where it's at. That's the album. And Dearly Beloved, I don't think if he was looking for this song to be an outro, it does not fit. It should always be like an interlude if you were to have it here on this album. And I have that song at a 6. So, Maddie, you were spitting, man. You were absolutely spitting. This album for me is definitely a 7.5 out of 10. I think some songs didn't deserve to be here. Not saying that they're bad, but just saying that they do not fit this album. And again, I know some of you who are watching this like, who's this guy, rating, criticizing Maddie's album, who Maddie's opened for Meek Mill and similar artists, and I can't really say I've done anything that crazy with my rap career, but I've been an artist for 6 years, so I have deep dived into every corner. I have done so much research on music itself. I'm an artist, and that's the way I look at it. Any artist can look at a song and criticize it a gazillion times until it's perfect. Now, it is very hard to make a perfect song. A perfect song, in my opinion, is like Steve Lacy's Bad Habits. Now, that song was flawless, and it is very hard to make a song flawless like Travis Scott's Goosebumps. There's just certain songs that are just completely flawless. Dr. Dre's The Watcher, like, it's just very hard to make a flawless song or an album. I will say I'm Him is the closest you're gonna get from Maddie's catalog, because I have gone through Maddie's catalog a little bit. From what I've heard, I'm Him is probably the best song that he has ever released, and the music video to it was honestly pretty fire. I will say, go watch that. That was dope. But yeah, so Maddie, you made a banger. This was really cool, and that's supposed to be here. Was very fitting. I love the album. I love the beats. I love the double entendres, the wordplay, the rhyme schemes. Your freestyle was neat, even though, we kind of got, too used to these rappers nowadays who are able to freestyle crazy. And back in the day, that was not the case. That only started happening, more recently, where, you get on Sway in the morning and you just start spitting flames at 10 a.m., you know what I'm saying? And that's really hard to do. I will say that is very hard to do. To just sit there and spit for 10 minutes and it just be complete gas. It's hard, man. So, give Maddie props where the props are due. Gotta give him respect, man. I love his ASMR. It's really cool. He deserves to be where he's at right now. Living his life, man, and making rap. I think the album at a 7.5 is pretty fair, man. I didn't mean to criticize any songs. I don't want to hurt no feelings or anything like that, but you know, I gotta do what I gotta do. You know, that was my job here today, was to review and criticize. So, you know, that's what we did. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.